this, but I have really low hopes for the future, um, because we don't have two. We have a dysfunctional, well-meaning party, and we have a completely not well-meaning party that is not that dysfunctional because their function is to destroy government and to not deliver for people. Like that, they always talk about they hate government. They want to be in government so they can dismantle government. What job would you ever hire someone? I want a plumber. His goal is to flood my apartment. No, I'm not going to hire that plumber then. I need a plumber who will stop the flooding, not get me to move out of my apartment.
Yeah. Well, and they want small government, but then they do stuff like we'll go to local here in our district, our board of supervisors for the county, District 5 Supervisor Ron Gould wants to ban a book just because it's about a non-binary character. Now I have a non-binary young adult, and so this struck me pretty hard, and I jumped all on my little bandwagon, got up my soapboard. I wrote the local papers and stuff like that. The book is A Beautiful Something Else by Ash Van Otterloo. I'll just give them a plug. But what do you think about the government trying to step in and telling us what we can or cannot present to our children to read?
If I can give you an example first from my campaign to illustrate what I think of this. One of the events for the candidates was at this organization, this nonprofit, where I'm probably going to send most of my leftover money to as a donation. They work with HIV positive people, with trans people, with um, LGBTQ people who are either homeless or have been shunned by their families, any number of things. It was a really inspiring sort of event, not because I said my piece and we all said our piece, but talking to the people after and learning about this organization, it was very moving because, I try to stay informed. Obviously, I read the paper, I vote, I do all the normal things, but you realize there's a lot of groups out there doing really hard work anonymously or low key that are really important for individuals and families. And I talked to this one woman after who was telling me that, she was very upbeat, I think because she felt community and safety there and support. But she was saying her son is trans. She has a trans son who's whether a junior or senior in high school. And she was saying, yeah, we had to move. Like we had to look for a community where we thought he'd be safe. And this is New Jersey. This isn't Alabama or Florida or somewhere you might. This is New Jersey, and they needed to move someplace where they felt safe and that their son could feel welcome. And I said, this was just a new experience to me because I always say I stand with, this community, but now I'm like actually talking to somebody who's telling me about their daily experience. And she said, I said, do his friends know that he's trans? Like if this is like such a sort of secret operation. And she said, only his very closest friends know. So a lot of the acquaintances and friends of this person have no idea. And she said to me, when we're looking for colleges, we're looking at colleges now, we'd love to just look for what's the best school you can get into. But they're looking for the school that will be most welcoming, most safest, the kind of environment where they will not have to be stressed all the time worrying about their son and is their son okay? And they'll always worry, obviously, as parents, but in a way that's like, we can just worry normally, like a normal set of parents. And that was so eye-opening to me because to bring it back to your example, the small government, the stay out of our lives, individual liberty people, individual liberty for them, intrusive bigotry for you. And the idea that this woman is moving communities, is in consultation with doctors about the treatment of their son, that you're going to pretend like this woman so that you can demonize them is their kid just went to school one day and the school made the kid trans and we've got to stop this. It's that dumb. I'm not speaking to people who don't. The rhetoric is that fucking stupid that it's like, and I'm sitting here with a woman whose entire life is geared around the safety and comfort of her child. And you want me to believe that this is a person who's just harming their child and doesn't care. this is consultation, between a medical provider, like if I don't want to take a vaccine, that's my medical privacy. But if you talk to a doctor over years about the treatment of your child in a very difficult, world changing, life altering move to change genders, you want me to believe that that doesn't warrant any protection or respect of privacy or family. Okay. And then you want to like so and then the looking at all that the hoops they have to jump through, ignoring that, and then further demonizing these people, making their lives more miserable as they just try to find some place where their child can be safe and happy, is disgusting. And so when it comes to that's how they're treating the people. So a book banning is nothing, because that's just trying to foster a further culture of discrimination and hate. Like, so the book banning is an afterthought to them. That's just how we reinforce in everybody's minds that we don't respect these people, and we don't respect their journey, and we don't respect their rights. That so it's the book banning is disgusting, but I don't know which comes first, the chicken or the egg, because it seems like they're doing parallel things. We're both discriminating against the people and hurting them and harming their lives, but we also don't want to lose fact of the sort of littler things that we can do to create a hostile environment. So the book banning is there to support the bigotry,
Right.
in a softer way. I think they go hand in hand, though. It's not, nobody thinks the fucking books are dangerous. It's about it's about supporting the bigotry in softer ways.
Right. And I think Mr. Gould is personally doing this just to build his brand on it.
Right.
And if it wasn't for some one of our local friends pointing out what happened in that meeting, this would have just gone under the rug. No one would have noticed it. And they would have, of course, taken this book out and then be allowed to go, well, what other books don't we like?
Mm-hmm.
And just start from there. Thank you for that answer, though.
Yeah.
Um, let's do a quick round here. Your best movies